go.
Well, you said you were ready.
Wait a minute. I was, but somehow or another this thing muted out.
Let's just sing songs.
La 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 la. Hi, everybody who's seeing us. We're going to try to get the music up in just a second, get the introduction going. But Eliot's having technical difficulties.
Yeah, unexpected technical difficulties. I didn't really listen today, so let's see. Devices.
Music? We don't need no stinking music.
Yes, we do, Kenny, just to get the show going.
Have to, man. Just start it. We're live.
Let's just start it. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sports Nerds. I am your humble and tired host, Mr. Scott, the Sports Nerd. Right?
Hey, Nation, another Sunday episode of the Sports Nerd Show.
That's the outro, not the intro. That's the Oh, I love it.
We'll see you next week.
See you later. Thanks for coming.
Production of the Sunday Night Sports Nerd Show. It is the most absurd 90 minutes of everything you'll expect.
Something in the background.
Every Sunday night, the Sports Nerd joins forces with three charismatic co-hosts who are a select group of sports nerds with attitude, better known in Nerd Nation as the Rampant. We are four of the most loudmouth, smack-talking nerds around, coming at you with some sick rips and rants, which may be just enough to make you pee your pants. So listen up, Nerd Nation. Let's rise and welcome the legend himself. He is the founder, he is the host, and he is the star of the Sports Nerd Show. Coming to you live, straight out of Lakeland, Florida, Scott, the Sports Nerd. Right.
Let's try this again.
Take two.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Nerds. I am your host, Scott, the Sports Nerd, right? And along with my co-host, Mr. Eliot Big E Lamba, Bills Mafia member John G. Olson, and Ked Go Cowboys Costa. We will discuss the week that was in the world of sports, specifically week 2 in the NFL. We are live each and every Sunday night on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and on the blockchain, courtesy of MT.TV. However, Vim is still down, John.
Wow.
It is still down. And if you miss the live broadcast, you can watch the replays on Spotify, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, and on the blockchain via PeakD. Week 2 in the NFL is in the books, gentlemen. With one exception, the Denver-Washington game has still got about 2 minutes to go. But the Skins are at the Skins. The Commanders, are up 35-27. So, shout out to all 3 of my co-hosts who are enjoying a week in which their teams came up with a win. John, I know you're on the road. Did you get a chance to watch your game today?
So I started the day in Minot, North Dakota, the thriving metropolis of Minot.
North Dakota, eh?
Yeah, North Dakota.
North Dakota.
Don't you know?
I drove to Grand Forks, North Dakota, and it was like exactly noon Central, so 1 p.m. Eastern. I parked right in the Flying J, shut the truck down, started watching the game, didn't move until the game was done. Now I'm in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, enjoying my Sunday drive because the Bills won. They actually showed up in convincing fashion as well. So I'm very happy. If they would have lost, I would have been just a miserable SOB, and I probably wouldn't even be on the show right now.
I'm going to tell you what, if they would have lost to the freaking Raiders, you should have been a miserable SOB.
Yeah, man. Dude,
I'm
the Raiders
it's a great victory, but temper that expectation because the Raiders suck.
Dude, they look so bad. Like, so bad. Like, it was look, I like when Josh isn't sugar high Josh. I'm a big fan of that. He played check down, man. He was game manager. He did his, every now and again. He
avoided the mistakes that cost him last week today is what I mean. There was one wild throw to get the touchdown. I think it was to Bates or whatever his name is. He took he was getting ready to get sacked, and he threw that ball, flinged it, caught it, and they put it in the end zone.
Yeah.
But other than that, his throws today were really good. I mean, and they didn't seem to they didn't like get into trouble or into coverage. He seemed to make the throws he needed to do. He's still running too hard and not sliding and still taking hits, but
and flipping up in the air too.
Yeah, flipping up in the air.
Yeah, that's okay. That's Josh. Like, you can't, like, this is the thing with Josh, man. Like, you can't have Josh Allen without him. Listen, to be brutally honest with you, I would rather him get hit when he's running because he's expecting it. Most quarterbacks, when they get hurt, are in the pocket. They don't go running. Like Josh is prepared for the hit. So I don't mind that. Like I know a lot of people. I say that until he gets hurt, right, and gone for the season.
Right.
And not
Exactly. You're gonna put that out in the ether.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but no, it's just like he that's what he is. Like he's built like that. He's built to take hits. He's built to do stuff that most other quarterbacks won't do. And it's kind of a blessing and the curse. But I thought he played great. It'd be interesting to hear the national media because they were writing him off, man. The Bills were done and Josh Allen was crap and he's this and that and the third. Be interesting to hear. They're not.
You're probably talking about the Buffalo media because the national media wasn't that bad, as far as I could tell.
No,
I don't think so.
They're
no. I mean, NFL Network
they were
and
the
ESPN both were like,
and,
they're not worried about Josh. Josh is going to be fine. It just, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to wait because, like I said, the victory was great, but it was the Raiders, so kind of gotta put that in perspective,
Right.
The Raiders stink. The only reason they won last week is because they played Denver.
Yeah, well, and then one of the comments I seen on the web today was, why is Jimmy Garoppolo any different than Dak Prescott? Or not Dak Prescott, I'm sorry, Ken. Any different than Derek Carr? How is Jimmy Garoppolo
he has a better winning percentage over time than Derek Carr.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Derek Carr just wore out his welcome in Raiderland, basically.
Well, that's Stephen Davis doing. That's what that is.
Yeah, but anyways,
you got your running game today, John. You got the running game came alive today.
Yeah. James looked good, man. James looked good. I love that Davis was in the play.
Davis played
he played really good. Even Josh was spreading the ball around, man. That's a very potent offense if that happens, I mean, we all know what Diggs can do, and that's fine. But it's the other guys that need to step up, and they did today. So
Gabe Davis had 6 catches for 92 yards. James Cook 17 carries, 123 yards.
123. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's great. It's great. It's a great day for drinking beers. Yeah. No, it's great. I love it. Yeah,
even Latavius Murray got in on the action day. He scored a touchdown.
Dude, yeah, he always plays good against his ex teams, right? So, yeah. Yeah, it was good, man. I loved the offense, and I thought the offensive line was fantastic. Really good. They get shat on all the time by Buffalo media, but they stood up. I think Josh got sacked twice. That was and I mean sure that's 2 times too many, but compared to running for his life against New York last week. So,
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
But, so yeah, that's yeah, and thank you to the Cowboys for beating the Jets. I appreciate that very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
That was much of a surprise either.
You
no, I mean,
the Cowboys.
What was surprised was the defense. The fact that the Jets
scored 10 points.
Defense. Yeah, well, that wasn't a surprise. I mean, Zach
The
Wilson
Cowboys are 70-10 against New York. How's that? We could say scored 70 points against New York.
Well,
the King of New York.
Like Stephen A. called the Giants Saquon Barkley in a bag of chips.
Really? You know what? Stephen A. needs.
If you beat New York, these New York teams, you know what I'm saying?
Stephen A. needs an enema.
Yes, he does.
Nice.
But he's got plenty of enemies.
Got plenty of those, yeah. I will say this. I'm very happy with the victory, but it could have been a whole lot nastier.
I'll tell you what.
We are still not that good in the red zone. The Jets have a very good defense, but they're not that good. And
when your offense sucks, you're spending more time on the field than you need to, and then your defense is going to
that's true.
So
but, our defense has come alive.
Micah Parsons was everywhere on
Micah
that field
Parsons is everywhere. That's why I posted the chum is in the water
Yes.
Feeding time.
You
Yes.
guys get
Live
another.
sharks.
You guys get another softball next week at Arizona.
You never know with Arizona. I mean, look at the Giants today. I mean, they were
You know what?
they were down
After the
24-7,
Giants
came back, but
after the Giants' performance last week, I mean, what they did today was could be considered phenomenal. Coming back,
No
It's
kidding.
Arizona, people, come on
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
It's freaking Arizona. They're predicted to finish dead last in the entire league.
yeah. How bad does that make the Giants look?
Well, it did in the first half. And I'm telling you what, if any other team would have been up 20-0 at halftime, Giants wouldn't have won that game.
I think we'll handle the Cardinals pretty handily, but
I think you guys should basically shut the Cardinals out.
I would hope so. I would love to see that.
Like part 3 of New York.
I would have loved to have been in that locker room at halftime to see what Brian Dable told those guys at halftime, because they came out firing on all cylinders. I mean, they scored 31 points in the second half alone. And I don't know what was said, but that defense came alive in the second half. What's his face? Oh God, I'm so freaking tired.
But the victory could have come at a price too.
Yeah, Danny Dimes came. I mean, he woke up in the second half and he was throwing really good.
Yeah,
that's a big bill to pay.
Yep.
Danny Dimes.
And Eliot, your boys pulled it out with the Rams.
Well,
Hey,
it
was Eliot? What was the stat line for Christian? I know he had a touchdown and like 80 yards last I checked, but what was his stat line?
Oh, McCaffrey?
Yeah.
I don't even know if I got it here.
You got
it's
it
not on NFL Network. It's the NFL.com doesn't have it. Maybe ESPN does.
Where are we at here? Okay. Really? McCaffrey finished with 116 yards.
Nice.
116 yards rushing and 19 yards receiving. So
yeah, he didn't do too many.
Yeah, he did have a touchdown, a rushing touchdown.
Well, we got rid of our first home opener in SoFi Stadium.
Yep.
Now Thursday's our second home opener
against the Giants.
Everybody says we have 2 home openers in one season. Because you see how much
why
red
does
there was
LA
in
even have
SoFi.
teams? Like why? Explain it to me.
What's that, John?
Why does LA even have I could get 1 team, but 2 teams?
How about them
They have
Chargers?
no fans.
Because the Chargers ownership didn't want to take the
Chargers.
offer that the city of San Diego gave them, and they ran.
Dude, the Chargers. Ugh.
They're awful.
Boys.
They
What a
lost to Tannehill
miserable
and the freaking
franchise.
Titans today.
Boys, check out
Oh, I
the
know.
Broncos.
In overtime, right?
Broncos just scored on the last play of the game. If they hit the 2-pointer, we're going to OT.
Oh my gosh!
Oh wow! Yeah, there you
I
go.
just saw that, Ken. Holy cow! Russell's cooking.
You still got to hit the
What
2.
are
though.
you
Gotta hit the
cooking,
2-point
Russ?
conversion.
Hit the
Yeah.
boost.
Let's.
Hail Mary to Brandon Johnson
Let's
in the end zone.
Wow.
Can Russell complete the meal? That's
Wow.
what it comes down to.
And we had 2 overtime games in the 1 o'clock bracket.
Yeah, that Seattle Detroit game was something else.
That was a great game. That was something else. You feel bad for Detroit, but tell you what, Gino's picking up right where he left off last year. He's playing really well.
He didn't play that great in his first game.
Not the first game, no.
Yeah, he didn't play great last week.
Yeah, he definitely didn't.
He was 32 of 41 for 328 and 2 touchdowns today.
No 2-pointer.
Nope.
No good.
No good.
Wow.
Nope. Commanders are going to win a game.
Wow.
The Command Skins will
Won
win.
last week. The Commanders are 2-0.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Did you guys see the statue out front of Ford Field from Barry Sanders?
Yeah.
Yes.
The Juke statue.
Nice.
The Juke statue?
Yeah.
Pretty appropriate.
Absolutely, because if you're gonna put a statue of Barry Sanders, he's got to be juking somebody.
He's got to be juking.
Oh, that was interference, guys. That was interference all the way.
What, on the 2-pointer?
They didn't call it.
I noticed that.
It was interference, and they didn't call it. Oh my God!
Oh, Peyton's fucking.
Sean
That's
Payton was
ridiculous.
not happy.
That's ridiculous. The defender was all over him.
Yep, the NFL referees strike again.
Wow.
NFL officials living up to their freaking reputation.
Yeah.
They absolutely suck.
Absolutely.
Can I give a quick shout out?
Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
CeeDee Lamb,
Yes.
11 receptions, 143 yards, along with 31.
Yep.
He helped me win my fantasy game this week.
He'd be balling
You
today.
guys still hear me?
Yeah, yeah, John, we got you.
So
Yep.
Okay, I
Praise
shut
CD
the video off because
praise CD for helping me win my fantasy league this week.
I will pass that along to him.
So Miami and New England's tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Philly didn't look really good against Minnesota Thursday night.
They haven't looked good in either of their first two games.
No, they haven't looked like the dominant team they were.
And did you see Diggs Allen 2.0 on the sideline with AJ and Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, they were not friendly when they're in their conversation.
AJ Brown was not happy.
Nope. No, well, if you look at the stats,
I wasn't happy either, dude, because he only scored 6.9 fantasy points when everybody else scored like 20 plus.
AJ Brown only had 4 catches for 29 yards.
He wasn't being targeted. That's why he was pissed.
Right.
They're targeting everybody else except him.
if that was Stephon Diggs,
Yeah,
No,
that was Stephon Diggs
We're
last
talking about AJ Brown.
no, I know.
I think
What I'm
Stephon
saying,
had
if
that
it was
problem at
Steph,
the end
could
of
you
the year last.
Will they double team him?
National media?
Well, yeah, but Steph got his looks today. He had 7 catches for 66 yards. He got more catch. He was the most. He had the most catches in the team today, even though he didn't the most yards, but he had the most catches in the team.
And if he doesn't, then that's just going to spiral him back to being pissed off about not getting.
And Stephon was targeted 7 times, and he caught 7 balls. So,
But right now, I think Philly has a kind of an ugly 2-0 record.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think their record's ugly. I really do. They're 2-0, but they won ugly. Dallas looks a hell of a lot better than Philly does right now.
Oh yeah.
As much as I hate to say it, Ken.
I just want to see what
I
they
enjoy,
do.
I enjoy your hatred.
A quality team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's have a look at those NFC East
Yeah, but
standings.
you got 3 teams that are 2-0.
Cowboys 2-0, Eagles 2-0, Commanders 2-0.
And
Yes.
Giants 1-1.
Yes.
Giants 1-1.
It's going to be a
We
crazy
go
division.
from the beast to the least, back to the beast.
Go back.
Yep. Where does freaking Puka Nakua come from?
I don't know, but he's just lighting it up right now.
He's like Cooper Cup on steroids. Yo.
He was the guy that everybody was talking about. Go out and get him on waivers, or get out and get him because nobody else has him.
Everybody in fantasies. I mean, he got picked up by a high percentage of people.
Yeah.
This week. Unfortunately, I wasn't one of them, but and the guy that did pick him up in my league didn't play him.
Well, that was a mistake. He had like 7 or 8 catches today. So Joe Burrow aggravated his calf again today at the end of the game. Bengals lose to the Ravens 27-24. They are 0-2. Pittsburgh's going to be 0-2 after tomorrow night. I'm just saying.
You would hope.
And that will be the Ravens and the Browns being 2-0 in the division.
Write that down.
Write that down, Ken. Go ahead.
Write that down so you can display it if they lose.
Yes.
Write it down. Take a picture.
I mean, Burrow was mediocre again today. He only had 222 yards passing.
Well, that's better than 82 like last week.
Right.
How many picks did he have today?
He had a pick. He had a pick today. He did have an interception. But his quarterback, his QBR was 61.7. So it wasn't.
The ugliest game of the day was Kansas City and Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah, it was ugly. It was only like a third, was it like
17-9?
17-9 or something like that? Yeah, right. Okay.
It was just awful, dude.
Yeah.
And say what you want, that Kansas City offense does not look good.
Something's wrong with Kansas City's offense.
Well, they got no receivers.
True. Yeah. Outside of Kelsey.
And also have no Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, and no Eric Bieniemy. That's right. It's starting to show. And maybe it wasn't.
Won't that be something? Wouldn't that be something, huh? Wouldn't that be the narrative? Eric Bieniemy was that offense.
Well, yeah. Now he's 2-0 with the Commanders, and the Chiefs are barely 1-1.
Yeah. Yeah, but Jacksonville kind of pooped the bed too, man.
They looked terrible today. They weren't clicking at all.
I actually picked Jacksonville to win that game.
They didn't look good against
I thought Jacksonville would win that game because they were playing pretty well considering what they did last week. But this week it was like, it's like they fell way off and they weren't focused on the game.
The Trevor Lawrence hype was a little premature as of today because they didn't look good, man.
He didn't have any picks, but he was only threw for 216. He didn't have any touchdowns. The whole team didn't have a touchdown.
If anything, Kansas City's defense is looking good to start the season.
They did get back, their number one defensive guy.
Well, they got back Chris Jones, right?
They got Chris Jones.
But they played well without Chris Jones.
In a second and a half today, so.
They played well without him in the first game against Detroit. Detroit only put up 21 points, and it was barely.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But that
offense is not. It's not Super Bowl offense at this point.
Not right now. It's not.
And I don't think it's gonna be unless they find themselves. They need to go out and get a Mike Evans or somebody like that.
Right.
But now that Tampa's 2-0, you think Mike Evans is going anywhere? Hell no.
Nope.
You know what, guys? Baker looked good today.
Baker looks good in that Tampa offense.
He does. It looks like he's found a home. The players like him, and you know what? I'm rooting for the guy. As much as I don't want Tampa to do anything, I'm rooting for Baker because of
you better because you threw him to the ground when he got drafted.
Yes, I did, but I'm hoping. But I'm still rooting. I'm still rooting for the guy because I wish he do well.
The thing about Baker is he looks like he's having fun again.
Yes, it does.
And has not been there. Is not. Yeah, he can relax.
Well, he looks the same way Tom Brady did coming out of New England and Tampa.
Right. Exactly.
Relaxed and having fun too. I guess Baker's in that same atmosphere where Baker, he can just be himself.
Being in hot weather all year long, this can be pretty fun.
Well, yeah, but only that. But there was a lot of pressure on Baker in Cleveland to be the guy. Okay?
Right.
In Tampa, he's not expected to be the guy because that's what they got the people around him for.
Plus, he's got more weapons in Tampa than
he's got more weapons in Tampa than he did in Cleveland. I have to agree with you. But Baker is
and not to mention Tampa has a championship pedigree.
Well, yeah, their defense is no joke. You're right. The defense is still intact. So, yeah, you're right. So what were you saying, John?
I said it was very American. I just drove by a bald eagle.
Nice.
Right.
I felt very patriotic, even though this isn't my country.
And even though you're not even an American citizen. But, okay, we appreciate you, John.
Yeah, while you're here, consider yourself indoctrinated.
Right.
So, yes, I definitely am. Yeah, I feel it. Yeah.
What is the national animal symbol of Canada? Is it the beaver?
Beaver.
I think it's the
It's the
moose.
beaver, of course.
It's
You know,
not
you guys
all-
have
I thought it was the
a
moose.
glorious
It's the beaver?
raptor.
Damn.
We have a beaver. Yeah. Yeah, we have a freaking beaver, man. You shitting me?
Could be a loon.
Beavers are
Yeah.
cute, John.
Oh yeah, they're just adorable.
Hey, how about those Atlanta Falcons 2-0?
Beating the Green Bay Packers today.
Wow.
I did call that one.
Coming from behind to
I
beat the
did call that one. Only time they led the entire game right there at the end.
But the Packers were missing Aaron Jones, so that
Yeah,
That hurt them.
that's gonna
Yeah.
hurt. That's gonna hurt for a while.
They need
But,
Christian
Watson wasn't around either.
Yeah, Watson wasn't playing either. So
Bijan was trucking today.
Bijan was Bijan.
He was trucking today.
Amazing.
I'd say he's a real possibility for early candidate for Rookie of the Year.
Well, he had 19 carries for 124 yards.
Yep.
And he got 4 balls out of the backfield for 48 yards.
I think they were already starting to engrave that trophy for him before the season even started.
Mm.
You know?
Don't do it just yet. But he's in the
The
he's in the ring.
player,
He's in the combo.
player, and the offensive rookie of the year, definitely.
Yeah, I mean Jordan Love
Definitely-
looked good. He had 3
definitely
touchdowns
combo.
today, and he had a quarterback rating of 113.50. So, I mean, Desmond Ritter, Justin Love looks really good, but I guess the Falcons defense really stepped up and made the stops when they needed to, and then Desmond Ritter had a touchdown and a pick, but he also ran for a touchdown. I mean, he showed some guts today.
Love had 6 touchdowns in his first 2 games.
Yes,
I was trying to remember what college is he from?
Jordan Love.
No, Ritter. Desmond Ritter.
Oh, Desmond
I can
Ritter.
look it up, but I was trying to remember today. And
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, that's right.
Yeah.
He's a Bearcat.
Bearcats, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Boy, the Chargers. What's up with the Chargers?
They're all over the
Right.
road.
What's up with the Chargers? They're freaking choke artists.
They're 0-2. The Chargers are 0-2.
Their coach is terrible.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that.
Okay, Brandon Staley's a joke. He shouldn't be coaching in the ranks of the NFL. Maybe Pop Warner, maybe?
Okay.
Herbert looks frustrated. Very frustrated.
And he's got weapons. Well, another thing you gotta account for is that Austin Eckler was out.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true too.
That whole dynamic of that offense changes when Eckler's not around.
True.
Yeah, I mean their top rusher was Joshua Kelly. They only had 39 yards. So I mean,
Well, and I mean all the hype that they were giving him after the first game, I understand, but it's a totally different situation when you're playing in a game that Austin Eckler's also playing in, because he kind of softens up the defense and gives you a chance to, do some damage as well. But when you're the lead back and you don't have that cowbell guy in the game,
yeah,
that's a whole different situation.
right.
Joshua Kelly is not a 3-down back like Austin Eckler.
Right. What?
So Tennessee capitalized on that.
Mm-hmm.
Where you at, Grady? Where you at?
And I'm gonna tell you what, that Burks kid played pretty good today, Treylon Burks.
Hmm.
DeAndre Hopkins still doesn't look like DeAndre Hopkins at this point.
No.
No.
Give it time. I mean, he's starting out with a new team. Tannehill, I mean, he started doing his little run to the end zone thing, and you know what I mean? So,
Come on.
I mean, Tennessee could be, they could be there at the end of this. But then
Come on.
again, it's that division. You know what I mean? I think that division right now is up for grabs, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was.
Just like
Jacksonville
after
running away
today,
with
yeah.
this.
Just like
Well,
the
yeah,
NFL.
actually, that division is up to grabs. I mean, Indianapolis came in; they won today without
Without
Richardson,
Richardson.
Gardner
Yeah.
Minshew as the
Yeah.
helm because they're because their rookie kid
But
got.
that's not a big drop because Gardner Minshew can play.
Yeah, he can. I agree.
Okay, he can
True.
step right in there. Gardner Minshew to me is like a Nick Foles. He can step right in there and just not miss a beat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
They're 2-0 now, aren't they?
yeah.
Colts 2-0.
Yep. And then again, they were playing Houston, so let's temper
Oh, the
expectations.
True.
Colts are 1-1, Kenny.
Oh, they're 1-1.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they lost in the first week. That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Colts are 1-1.
But again, I think that division, along with I think the two South divisions are up for grabs,
Mm-hmm.
both NFC and the AFC. Right now, I just see them being up for grabs because you got New Orleans playing tomorrow night.
Right.
Right.
It's Carolina.
2-0. Carolina will be the only 0-2 team in the division. The rest will be 2-0, right? Tampa, New Orleans, and Atlanta.
Hmm.
Right. If New Orleans beats Carolina, yes, those three will be 2-0. Yes.
Which I mean, they shouldn't have a problem.
They should beat Carolina. Yes.
Yeah.
Carolina has nothing. I mean, nothing.
Oh, are you hating on Adam Thielen?
Adam
No.
Thielen, you know what? He's long in the tooth. He's not who he used to be. Okay. And I'm sorry, but he's not. He doesn't have Kirk Cousins at quarterback. He's got Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Yeah. And DJ
So-
Shark ain't it.
Tajay Sharp ain't it either. No. CJ Stroud had a game today, but
Yeah.
he had to throw because they were down by so much.
Yep.
You know, that's how he managed to amass all his yards today.
I mean, before Richardson went out, he did run for 2 touchdowns. So he had a
did,
good
but
game.
Here's where that whole situation of running quarterbacks that don't want to go
Slide.
down.
They don't want to go down. They don't want to slide.
slide and don't want to avoid a hit because they think
Right.
that they got it like that. And that's exactly what happened to him today. He got pulverized when he got in the
On
end
that
zone.
second touchdown he ran, he hit his
Yeah.
head on the turf when he went
He
down.
could have dove into the end zone.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I'm sorry, but not everybody's built like Josh Allen.
No.
And even Josh Allen, if he was to take a hit like that and hit his head on the ground the way Richardson did,
Yep.
he'd be out too.
Yes, he would.
You know what I'm saying? So these guys that run around acting like they're indestructible, that's what's going to happen. And he got hurt the first game too.
Yep.
He had to come out for a while in the first game. And I understand that he's, that's his dynamic as far as running the ball. But if you don't take care of yourself, just ask Kyler Murray.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So. And does Josh Dobbs have eyebrows? I don't think so. He's got a condition, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Or he has no
something.
facial hair or
I don't think he does.
No?
Alopecia. Is it an alopecia?
Yeah, alopecia.
Seattle looked a hell of a lot better this week than last week. I'm telling you. And then Detroit, they got after all the hype and all the hope for Detroit. I mean, they had a valiant comeback, but it just fell short.
Well, they lost in Seattle last year in Detroit too.
Yep.
Okay. I think part of it had to do with the fact that David Montgomery went out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that took away their downhill running back.
Yeah, I think they're calling it a thigh bruise or something like that is what they're calling.
So, I mean, again, if you lose your cowbell at running back, all right, chances are you're not going to succeed.
Jahmyr Gibbs is a weapon too, but he only had 7 carries for 17 yards. He had 7 catches for 39. Okay.
But that's because everything's been going to Montgomery.
Right.
Mhm.
But Gibbs is supposed to be this wonderful. He's a rookie. Okay.
I understand that, but they were in a situation where they had to pass. They could no longer run the ball once they fell behind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying Goff had to start putting it up. And again, now if Montgomery's going to miss time, Now they got to run that playbook that they've been saying that they got the special plays for Gibbs.
Right.
That they said before the season started, we're going to ease them in, but you're going to be amazed at some of the plays and stuff that this guy.
I mean, even Ross St. Brown was out for a point.
He was out, but he came back.
He was out and came back. He got injured today, but I mean, he was back in the game by the end of the day. But I mean, Goff had a good day. I mean, he was 28 of 35 for 323. He had 3 touchdowns.
He put up 26 fantasy points for me. I was happy.
Yeah. Gino had 328 and 2 touchdowns. So I mean, he had a good day too. DK got hurt. Got hurt and came back in.
They had that kind of a shootout last year too.
No, DK. Did DK come back in the game? Yeah, he did come back in the game. Yes, he did.
As usual, Tyler Lockett was the
bell counter for receivers. He had 2 touchdowns.
He was the man today.
Yeah, he was.
He caught the one in overtime.
Yeah. Well, he scored me 26 points, so I was happy with that too. I was on the verge of trading him too. You know that some of the best trades you make are the ones you don't.
Are the ones you just you don't do.
Absolutely. Seattle's defense looking better?
Kind of, sort of, but I mean, they did give up 31 points. So
yeah, they gave up 31 points.
Yeah, well, it's Detroit.
And I'm sorry, but they got handled by the Rams too.
They did. I mean, the defense had 2 sacks on Goff. Trey Brown had a touchdown return.
You know who looks pretty good is and he already upended and took over the starting running back position for the Rams. He bumped Akers out of the way. Kyron Williams.
Well, Akers was inactive today, and it's possible the Rams are seeking a trade for him. So,
yeah, I mean, they were saying in preseason that this Kyron Williams would possibly pass up Akers, and he had most of the work last week. And this week, Akers wasn't even around.
No, he wasn't.
So the writing is on the wall there, I think. Can you imagine if you get Puka Nacua and what's his name, Cup?
Cooper Cup.
Time on the field.
Cooper Cup's going to be out for a while, though, I think.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, especially if he has nerve damage.
Yes.
That's not a good thing. And of course, another Ohio State flop at quarterback.
Who?
You know who we're talking about, right?
CJ?
No. I'm talking about for the Bears. Then
Justin
Fields did play for the Buckeyes.
Yeah. He's looking like your typical.
He looked bad today. He really did.
He's looking like your typical Ohio State quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
That doesn't quite make the leap in the NFL.
The Buckeyes are wide receiver U for a reason. They're not quarterback U. So Marvin Harrison Jr. had a hell of a day yesterday for the Buckeyes. So he's gonna be a top 3 pick next year. Watch you guys. I mean,
about them Colorado Buffaloes, man.
The Rock being on game day yesterday it was the most entertaining game day I've seen in years. Topped off by Lee Corso's 400th hat pick.
Yeah.
Headgear pick,
Well, Rock finally met Lee Corso for the first time.
Yes. That. And it was funny because when Dion came up and they started talking, all of a sudden, boom, The Rock's music came on, and The Rock came up onto the stage. And Dion was actually on his knees doing this to The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Dion Sanders.
So was McAfee.
Yeah.
When he came onto his show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Rock's huge, man. I mean, there are people out there that want him to run for president.
Dion said this man can run for president and win.
Yeah. But he said he won't until his daughters are grown.
Correct. Yeah, he won't even consider it until his daughters are grown.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Is Colorado in danger of being overhyped?
We'll see after they go to Oregon and then when they play in the next 2 weeks. We'll see how.
Okay.
It's a cool story right now.
ESPN Game Day was there yesterday.
Yep.
Fox Game Day was there yesterday on a different, separate place in campus.
Yeah.
That's a second or third time that Fox has been there.
Well, it's the first time that Game Day ESPN's Game Day has been there since 1996.
Yeah.
Which was Kirk Herbstreit's first show.
I'm just glad that they beat Colorado State because that douchebag Jay Norville deserved to lose.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they were down, 11 points or 12 points in the fourth quarter? They
were down 28-17 with 11 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Came back and then won it in double overtime.
Pretty wild.
And boy, was that chippy.
Did Dion meet the head coach? Did Dion meet that guy in the middle of the field and shake his hand?
Yeah, I was asleep.
Yeah, apparently, from what I understand, they had a little exchange of words, and that was about it. Had a cold fish handshake.
Dion should have just handed him a hat and sunglasses. Thanks, man. Appreciate your time.
Thinking about Jay Norville. His mom may have taught him about wearing sunglasses and hats indoors or around people, but she was about discretion being the part of valor.
Right.
Who was he before Dion Sanders made him famous?
Right. Well,
he's Mike Norville's brother, I think.
Yeah, Mike Norville opened his mouth, put his foot in it, but you know what? Colorado State almost beat Colorado.
Yeah.
They almost beat them.
They led them practically the entire game, didn't they?
Yes.
Horseshoes and hand grenades. That's the only almost there is in life, dude.
So, I mean, we'll know the truth about Colorado football over the course of the next 2 weeks. They got to go to Oregon next week, and then USC comes to town. Both teams are ranked in the top 10 of the poll.
Absolutely.
So we'll see what Colorado is.
Colorado can't do what they did against Colorado State against those two.
Right. I mean, I gotta hand it to Dion, and I've been watching Rich Eisen all week. You know, Rich worked with Dion at NFL Network for all those years. Rich Eisen is so on the Dion train. There's a lot of people on the Dion train.
Right.
And you know what? They may only win 4 or 5 games this year, maybe 6 games. Okay.
Well, I think they'll win.
But Dion, the thing about Dion is he's changing the culture at the University of Colorado. Yes. You know, and
he's raised 2 amazing sons.
Yes.
Yes. They're both outstanding athletes, just like old man was.
Exactly. And they're outstanding people as well. They're outstanding individuals.
Yep.
Him and that Hunter kid were on
Travis Hunter,
well-spoken.
Yes.
Yeah, but Travis Hunter's going to be out for a few weeks after that hit.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. Hurt. But I think I've got Colorado going 7-5, maybe 8-4, and they'll go to a bowl game.
I think Colorado will go to a bowl game. I just don't know if they can beat Oregon or USC.
I wouldn't have the brakes on that, but.
No, that's when the reality.
That's not against Dion. That's the talent level at Colorado.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think they'll give him pretty good games, but
right.
He's done well with what he has.
Absolutely.
Oh, the Patriots are wearing the throwback tonight.
Yep. I've been looking for Zeke and I hadn't seen him yet.
The Boston Patriot is on the helmet tonight.
Patriot Pat.
Have we seen Ezekiel since he fumbled that first carry?
Yes, he actually had more carries.
Wow, didn't see that coming, did I?
I don't remember seeing.
Well, I know what's funny is I put that out there in the chat. The first carry by Ezekiel Elliott as a Patriot was a fumble.
Yeah.
First big carry.
He's shocked.
So, but. I mean, guys. We're only 2 weeks into the season. It's already been fun. I mean, today was a great day. There was a lot of great football today.
No, there was a lot
of great games today. 2 overtime games, and I mean the Giants are a good story. Seattle beating Detroit, and Detroit was a good story, I think, too. Atlanta.
Nothing's going to go well for the Giants on Thursday if Saquon Barkley is out.
No, it's not. It's not. I mean, Josh Allen had a bounce back game today. He looked like his old self. He didn't have any picks.
You know what? When you're struggling, the Los Angeles the Raiders are a great elixir
Yes.
Oh,
Agreed.
it couldn't have been a better matchup
to cure your
Buffalo.
struggles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. That was fantastic.
I mean, they're like Robitussin.
Let that tussin get in there.
Cures all ailments. So, I mean, so Josh had a bounce back game. Philly didn't look very good. I'm not confident in Philadelphia right now. Dallas looks like the best team in that division right now.
But playing devil's advocate, if you don't look good and you're still winning, that says something about your mentality as far as keeping it together while you're not.
Yeah, but they played the friggin' Patriots and then they played the Vikings, which neither one of them have great defenses. So I mean, but still,
I take that. I would go against the Patriots not having a good defense because they do.
No.
Okay. And the Vikings have a great offense. You know what I'm saying?
Kirk Cousins looked a little bit better last night. Yes, he did the first game.
Yeah. So.
What's
have you heard
the Vikings
that?
record?
Have you heard that Aaron Rodgers is actually preparing himself to come back and that he finds it very therapeutic listening to dolphins having sex?
Yes. Well, thank you for sharing there, Aaron. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, something about a fast stage or something like that as far as his rehab is concerned. I think that's what they called it. I have no idea what it is or what the treatment is. I mean, but to expect himself to be back for the playoffs is I mean, that's stretching it. I don't know. It's a torn Achilles, for God's sake.
Well,
players don't go back from that kind of injury in 4 months. Just don't do it.
Modern medicine has pulled many rabbits out of a hat in certain cases.
All I can say is, if he gets his jollies listening to Dolphins Get It On, it's fine.
Dolphins are the only other species other than man that has sex for pleasure.
Yeah. Well, I've had more than 100 scuba dives, and I've yet to have hear a couple of dolphins doing the tube steak boogie. So.
He probably listens to that while he's in his dark retreat moment.
Right. He just had a recording of it somewhere.
He was in that dark retreat moment last week when he was in the tunnel. Never seen anybody quite like Aaron Rodgers.
How about the talk about the Jets going out and going and getting hired gun, which we were just talking about on Kirk Cousins. If Minnesota's like 2-5 after week 7, and they're not planning on bringing Cousins back, I don't think, for next year. He's on his last year of the contract.
Last year of the contract, yeah.
So, I mean, wouldn't that be something if they went and tried to get him? I know that would crush Zach Wilson's confidence, but
would also crush Aaron Rodgers' confidence too.
No, I don't think it would crush Aaron. Aaron Rodgers for the starting position in that team. That's not going to be.
Well, the thing is, let me say this: Aaron Rodgers is 39.
Mm-hmm.
And Achilles is not an injury you just come back like that.
No, especially at 40 years old, Ken.
Especially at 40 years old. Kobe was 34 when he blew his out, and he missed the rest of that season and the first 19 games of the next season.
But he did make 2 free throws before he left the court.
Well, but yeah, the older you get, the harder it comes to getting over injuries.
All I was trying to say is that modern medicine these days has pulled out hats. Because remember when Tommy John surgery used to take like 2 years to recover from?
Yeah.
Now it's half that time.
Right.
Yeah, Shohei has cleaned out his locker, so we don't know that Shohei is coming back.
I think we do.
I don't think
he'll coming back, but he won't be with the Angels.
Listen, just to touch on Zach Wilson, he had a bad game. He was 12 of 27 for 170 yards. He had a touchdown, but he had 3 picks and was sacked 3 times as well.
And that's a typical Zach Wilson stat line.
Correct.
He was also a leading rusher, too.
Which is why I'm still amazed that he wound up beating the Buffalo Bills. Or did the Buffalo Bills beat themselves?
That pass to Garrett Wilson for the touchdown was pretty nice.
It was.
It was. But that was mostly Garrett Wilson.
That was one out of
it was
what?
a beautiful pass, but Garrett Wilson just toasted our.
Hey,
secondary.
even a blind squirrel will find a nut every now and then.
Yeah, that's true. Garrett Wilson is a great receiver. I mean, there's no two ways about that.
But he doesn't have a great quarterback, and that's why he was looking forward to playing.
Well, Kirk Cousins has been in discussion. Matthew Stafford has been in discussion, and they're talking about also Matt Ryan being in discussion.
No, Matt Ryan, dude. That guy ain't going nowhere. Ain't nobody. I would see Carson Wentz before I see Matt Ryan.
Well, Carson Wentz has been in the discussion too, as well.
His name's been thrown out there. These guys' names have been thrown out there. But honestly, legitimately, the only two I think that would make any sense would be Stafford or Cousins.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Because Tom Brady's not walking in that front door. He's not doing it.
And the Jets have taken out a restraining order on Colin Kaepernick and his agent. So
Good Lord.
So they don't keep calling.
I think that may have been a hoax too. So
Hell, even RG3 was in the discussion.
No, RG3 put himself in the discussion.
RG3 is having too much fun on ESPN to do that.
When he goes, they could do that, they could do that, they could call me, that was him putting himself in the discussion.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody trying to bring RG3 back.
Are we getting an ad on here?
He's 30. Yeah, I got rid of it, Ken.
Okay.
He's 34, so I mean, but you know what? He's got the knees of an 80-year-old, so it's not going to happen.
Yeah, no. Like I said, if you want to talk legitimately, I would think that the best bet, again, a hired gun. He's only going to be there for this season because Aaron Rodgers will be back next season.
Right.
Okay. But you go out and get Kirk Cousins. Have him play the rest of the season.
Yeah.
See if he can get you into the playoffs. But you're going to have a lot better shot with that than you will with Zach Wilson.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Zach Wilson.
Salah has said that Zach is their quarterback, so we'll see how it goes.
Zach Wilson's claim to fame is that he bones his mom's friends.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Who might be a pretty good fit in that offense? And I don't think anyone is, from what I've heard, no one's claimed him so far, is Will Greer. The one we cast off when we signed
somebody. He signed somebody. I forget who it was.
So,
he is with somebody.
Okay.
Hang on.
He's serviceable. I mean,
they've even brought Colt McCoy into the discussion too.
Oof. Colt McCoy is going to be a hell of a high school coach one of these days.
This is where the term grasping at straws comes into play. When you start talking Colt McCoy, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, those are straw grasping moments.
Matt Ryan's been a pretty good analyst so far from what I've seen.
Much better analyst than his late quarterback performances. Yeah. Matt Ryan's career ended when they lost that Super Bowl.
That was the beginning of the end, that's for sure.
Will Greer is with the Bengals, Ken.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I remember he signed with somebody right afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay. I missed that one.
And the way Joe Burrow's playing, who knows? He might get some run.
Joe Burrow looks lost. He really does.
But he's got all that money.
And that's what happens when you don't play during the preseason. You got injured early. He didn't take any time in the preseason. He didn't get practice in because he was injured. He re-aggravated that calf today against the Ravens.
And not just that.
And that's basically where he stands. So,
not just that, but I think they're overrating their offensive line. They've been saying, he's got a better offensive line.
Joe Burrow hasn't had an offensive line since he was drafted.
I understand. But you know what? After a while, that gets to you.
He left his offensive line behind when he left LSU.
He left his offensive line behind on LSU is what he did.
Yeah.
You can't dodge bullets forever.
No.
One of them will wind up hitting you eventually.
Correct.
And he's going to be injury prone because of it.
Yeah.
He's going to end up tearing an Achilles because that calf isn't going to heal right.
Mm-mm.
And then that, on top with that happening, and on top of the ACL, he tore his first season.
Right.
You know what? If I was the head coach of the Bengals, I'd rest him. I'd put him on the bench for 6 weeks and then bring him back in. Then, to hell with the schedule and the record. You want him to be healthy for the long haul.
Right.
Okay? You can write off this season and bring him back next year as 100% healthy, but you don't want to risk your franchise quarterback that you just paid $275 million for to go down with a torn Achilles and not be 100% when the season
Right.
starts next week. I
Do
mean,
they play Pittsburgh next week?
Do you guys not sense the fact that once these guys get their big contracts, their level of play tends to take a slight step back?
well, I don't know because
Not Josh Allen.
Lamar Jackson's playing pretty well right now.
Mm-hmm.
He did today, and he just got paid.
I was looking at Nick Bosa myself.
Wilson.
He got paid all that money and he ain't done shit.
He
the
didn't
first
show up
two
today,
games.
did he, Eliot?
Huh?
He didn't show up today, did he?
No, he had an assisted tackle, I think,
Right.
and that was it. That was it.
It's like
And in the
John's
first game, he had
at the
nothing.
truck stop.
Yeah, I just got to hear.
I'm just saying these big contracts sometimes. I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes, I think it's just human nature that you kind of like relax.
Well, to be honest, Eliot, I think the reason for Joe Burrow's poor play has nothing to do with the contract. I think everything to do with the fact that he was injured in training camp. It didn't get any reps leading up to the season, so he's rusty. It's the same thing that happened last year.
Didn't he have that
Okay.
last year where he didn't go to training camp?
Correct. Yes, it happened. They were 0-2 last year to start the season too.
Yep.
Okay,
But if
because
they go
Burrow didn't play the
0-3
preseason because of the appendectomy. Okay, so he was rusty when they came out of training camp for game one, which is the same situation as this year. He came out of training camp rusty. So, and now that he's re-aggravated that calf, it's going to be even worse for him if he doesn't sit down and say, okay, let me get fully healed and get treatment and let the backup, whoever the fuck it is, I have no idea who the backup is in Cincinnati.
Will Greer.
Will Greer, yeah, okay. I mean, Will Greer's showing that he can play. Okay, so
He can play in the preseason. I mean, I haven't seen him yet in the regular season game,
but I mean, what's more important, winning right now, or your franchise quarterback being healthy for the long haul?
I'll say this.
that's a no-brainer.
If on Monday, September 25th on ESPN, the Cincinnati Bengals lose to the Los Angeles Rams, then you might want to consider shutting Burrow down for an extended period of time.
Hmm.
Okay, if they go 0-3, I don't see them coming back from that.
Yeah, if they go 0-3, they're gonna shut him down. I agree.
Yeah.
So they really need.
Now, is that game in Cincinnati or LA?
It's in Cincinnati,
Okay.
and they have two games that day as well. It's Philadelphia at Tampa and the Rams at the Bengals. It's two more Monday night games.
All right. Just like this
We
week,
got two tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, there's a doubleheader tomorrow night too.
Yeah.
The
Interesting.
Saints and the
That's
Panthers
something
and the
that
Browns and the Steelers.
Is that something that they're? Oh no, that's at the week after that, October 2nd.
Yeah, one game is on ESPN, the other game's on ABC. The
ABC,
Browns and
yeah.
Steelers will be on ABC.
They go back to the one game on October 2nd when Seattle goes to visit the Giants.
Yeah, and their number one broadcast team will be on the ABC. Will be on the Browns Steelers tomorrow night. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman will be on that game tomorrow night.
You know, I really got past Joe Buck and Troy Aikman the other day when I switched over to Peyton and Eli.
Really, you like the
I'd
sound
rather
of
listen to them and watch
Manning
them
cast.
the Manning cast. I'd rather watch that than listen to Buck and Aikman, dude. Really,
Yeah, well,
they're freaking annoying.
all right, guys. It's 8:30. John, be safe out there.
Oh, I try my best.
All right, and I hope you get paid soon.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to call it a night, guys. On behalf of my co-host, Mr. Eliot Big E Lamba, John G. Olson, and Ken Koslow. We are the Sports Nerds, and we will be out, and we'll be back again next Sunday night to go over Week 3 in the NFL on the same time, same channel. You know the whole thing. So, John, I will send you the recording.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
That's very kind of you.
You're welcome. Even though you're on the road, I know you can handle it.
Yeah, man.
But on that note, we're out of here. Eliot, play the outro, please. Maybe.
Yeah.
You gotta love the technical difficulties. You gotta love it. I love it.
Right? And well, there you have it, Nerd Nation.
There you
Another
go.
Sunday episode of the Sports Nerd Show in the books, and we are still alive to tell about it. And on behalf of our host, Scott, the Sports Nerd, right? And his co-host, John Olson, Ken Koslow, our two lovable members in the Ram Pack, and yes, me, Big E. The entire pack would once again like to thank you all for participating with us in the best 90 minutes of sports smack talk on the web today. So until next Sunday night, dear nation, we would like to leave you with a quick PSA. Please stay safe, please practice social distancing, and for heaven's sake, please wear a damn mask. You all just got hit with a pack rant from the Rant Pack, and with that, fellas, we are out.